I actually am seeing a girl.
Okay.
Oddly enough, right? She's from the same training camp as my opponent. I repeat, the same training camp for my opponent. So it's a little
Wait. Your
funny.
opponent, Michael Olsen, as in the guy you're about to fight?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah.
Check it out. Let me tell you one.
Freedom for all!
What is up, my MMA brothers and sisters? Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk MMA. Today I have Nohelin SUAVE Hernandez coming back. Now he's on a roll ever since his last win that we saw versus Martin Day. We got a new fight, Conquer Fighting 4, who's actually going to live stream this through Flow Combat, which I thought was a great addition. It's going to be June 24th at the Crane Way Pavilion in Richmond. I figured let's touch base with him. Obviously, we talked a little bit about his last fight, but he's very excited about this upcoming fight. I really want to kind of see how he's feeling now. He has time to prepare for this next opponent. This next opponent is 3-1, fighting at the MMA Gold Fighters. Very tough. So I'm interested to see how he kind of feels about everything. And let's get the show on the road. Nohelin SUAVE Hernandez.
What up?
SUAVE! What's up, brother?
What's up, man? What's up, fight fans? How you guys doing?
I'm sure we're all doing fine. I'm a fight fan, so I'm doing just fine.
There you go.
Brother, I am excited for you. I let everybody know that the next fight for you is at Conquer Fighting on June 24th. So let's just start fresh. As soon as you got word, I want to say you had a couple different offers. How did everything go after your last fight with Martin Day to now?
Oh man, so a lot's been going down. Just like I had said before. A lot of things are going on. One door open, another door open. A whole bunch of doors have been opening for me as of post Martin Day. And me beating him in the first round. I had initially 3 promotions hit me up and were interested on having me on their show, and I was like, perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. I want to stay hungry. I want to stay active this year, and I want to get as many wins in a fashionable statement as I can. And actually, one of the promotions, Combate Americas, had hit me up and offered me a fight against a 2-division champion. And you know what? I'm gonna put this cat on blast. His name is Ryan. His name is Ryan Lilly. They had offered me to fight him. I said yeah, and he turned the fight down. And for me, it's kind of like it's a bummer, but it's also it says something that he didn't want to fight. But I think ultimately it was more of a bummer because there goes my paycheck. You know what I'm saying? It's like a paycheck, and I'm not getting paid, and to be honest, I was a little pissed off at him because he's taking money away from me, and it's like, man, you're a 2-division champion. Why don't you want to step up to the plate and test yourself? I think his record was like 5-1. Whatever, it's funny because I ended up calling this cat on Twitter. I called him out on Twitter, put it on my Facebook, put it on my Instagram. If you're gonna be acting like that, why are you gonna fight? So that was the whole deal with me. And then I believe Global Knockout actually wanted me back for August, and so that's in the works right now. So I'm open to that. Nothing matched up yet, so it's in the air right now. But it's there for me.
Cool.
And then, lastly, as you had said, Conquer Fighting Championship 4, June 24th. I have an opponent locked in. The contract is signed in blood. I got my opponent ready, another tough opponent. We're ready to do this, man. We're ready to do this. Like I said, I'm trying to stay hungry, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
That's great. I got to go off of the whole Conquer thing. Overall, I just felt that hunger right after your last fight. And I did notice that whole call out, and I'm like, man, what's going on? And I was like, man, I can't wait to talk to him again because there must have been a lot going on. And that's what it kind of sounded like. You had a couple options, but then you call this guy out, and I was like, man, how is a guy that is a champion at 2-division, how is he not just accepting fights? How could he possibly turn him down? And Combate Americas, especially for like right now, I think is growing. I really like their fights. I think that would have been a great addition to of another promotion for you to be a part of. But we're gonna go with the flow. You got one June, which is, I think, plenty of time to prepare. You're even
Oh, yeah.
thinking of a quick turnaround in August, so that'll be interesting, but we'll just kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
see how things go. Let's talk about this because, like you said, it's signed in blood. This is what's going down. Michael Olsen. I actually saw his last fight, and so for everybody who's watching right now, go to conquerfighting.com. They have actually a really cool website. They have his last fight and your last fight. And basically, when I saw it, I was like, man, number one, I like the way that they're promoting it. Number two, their website and your opponent being 3-1. I was like, this is right up your alley. This sounds like a very natural next step. What do you know about Michael Olsen, and how are you preparing for him?
So, I'm getting ready for him just like I would for any opponent, training every day, sometimes 2 times a day. Right now, as of right now, we're still quite a ways from the fight, so I'm not necessarily putting too much strain on my body. However, I am still, conditioning, here, there, still trying to get my technique in. I'm actually still getting hard sparring rounds right now, but not as much as I would closer to the fight. Yeah, Michael Olsen, he's 3-1, 3-2. I don't know. I've seen some websites that says 3-2, 3-1. It doesn't matter to me. Records I can care less about. Yeah, he's a tough guy though. He's a tough guy. He's a tough little guy. His nickname is a berserker.
Yeah.
So yeah. that kind of says a little bit about him, right? And I think it'll fit right into my game. I mean, you're gonna come in wild berserking, right? With, technique. Technique conquers all. But yeah, he's a tough guy. Don't necessarily know too much about him. I've seen a couple of his fights. Not really impressed, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that this is going to be an easy fight, but I just know what I bring to the table and what he's going to be able to bring me, and the level of competition that I've fought before. I've been fighting guys that fight his way for a very long time, man. I'm assuming he's going to come in scrappy, looking to take me down. Again, I've been dealing with that since the beginning of my career. Most people aren't going to want to strike with me, and that's something that I'm prepared to do. Again, I'm not taking anything away from him. He's just a tough little guy. He trains at a really good camp, MMA Gold in El Dorado Hills, and I respect their camp 100%. No disrespect to them, their coaching staff, their nutrition staff. Everybody's up to par, and they're really professional about how they go about things, and I respect them as a team. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't scared of anybody. So let's do this. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Well, let me ask you this. As far as your coaches and also the way you might like to do it at this point, and maybe you can kind of tell me how things are changing. I mean, you're starting to get so much experience, especially quickly. I'm curious how your mindset is kind of changing. So when it comes to this new opponent, do you like looking at tape? Do your coaches look at tape? How do you kind of go about that?
Oh man, I'm like an analyst myself. I've actually never gone to my coaches and been like, hey, analyze him. See what he's good at. I've always done the research on my own. So I'll go. And I don't care if I'm talking about this. I'll go through people's Instagrams, their Facebook, I'll look them up on YouTube. I don't care. I'm just trying to dig as much as I can about the person, and and off of that, off of what I see, I can gauge where they're at, and I can pick up on things that maybe my coaches can't, or that my opponent doesn't even know about themselves. I feel like I have a very good eye. I'm a very analytical person when it comes to fighting, and that's that. But as far as the mentality for the fight game, a lot's been going on. I've been doing this for a very long time, pretty much since I was 17. I started training at 16, but had my first MMA pancreation fight at 17, and I fought some tough guys at my amateur record, and and I think it's beginning to show, and my experience is growing the deeper I get into the professional circuit. But it's definitely grown. I have that kill or be killed mentality. I'm training hard, not underestimating anybody. I'm expecting the best out of my opponents every single time. Every single fight from now on is going to be a tough fight, and I'm just very thankful that I'm able to train with the training partners that I have. As of right now, I'm getting ready for this fight. I'm training with Bellator vet and Olympic wrestler Sean Bunch. I'm training with current UFC fighter Alejandro Perez. So I got my training partners lined up, man. But that's that for the mentality. It's kill or be killed, man. I'm out here to take advantage of my youth and my skills and you know, if I got to be talking a little bit, you know, there's 26 letters in the alphabet, and I'm going to use every single one of them and my 2 fists to get where I need to be.
There you go, man. It's crazy. I mean, for me, and I'm a fan above anything else. So with this fight right here, you know, if I was a promoter or if I was looking at you like, okay, your stand-up is obviously crisp, and it's been successful for you. This guy looks like he likes to take down. A lot of his fights, he either's been finished by submission or he's finished by submission. So have you kind of noticed that as going to the ground and just being prepared there, or do you kind of just like continuously working on everything?
I'm always working on everything, man. And like I've said, man, I've been fighting guys that have been wanting to take me down since the beginning. And you look at my second pro fight, the guy was trying to take me down the whole time, and you know, he might have taken me down, but I was right back up. And I fought this guy at 45, you know, at 145. Michael Olsen is coming up from 125 to 135 to fight a monster. So that's it. I think that says a lot. You know, he's you know, definitely taking on a challenge, and I hope he knows that. I hope that he doesn't think that he's going to go in there easily and take me down. Again, man, I'm training with great wrestlers. I got Sean Bunch, Olympic wrestler, Olympic alternate in my camp. So we're going at it. There's nothing that there's nothing Michael's gonna throw at me that I haven't seen or haven't experienced in the cage or even practice.
Wow. Hey, I mean, you sound confident. That's what's crazy. Every time I talk to you, the confidence level, I feel it just increasing. And I think ever since that last one, like you said, I mean, maybe, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I was like, you know, I put myself in other people's shoes a lot, and I could have imagined if I was in your shoes, seeing this guy Martin Day with all the hype and then go through a loss and the road that now he needs to go through, while you on turn getting the win, the road is a little bit easier. I mean, I'm wondering, where do you draw the inspiration from? Like, where do you get your motivation to? I mean, they say getting to the top is hard, staying on top is harder. You're undefeated as a pro. Like, what do you grab for that motivation and inspiration to make sure you stay on top?
Yeah. So, I mean, first and foremost, you know, I got that undefeated record of 3-0. I mean, that, again, like I said, records don't mean anything to me, whether it's mine or my opponents. They don't really mean anything to me. I can lose tomorrow. I can lose the day after that. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't matter to me. But I think what does matter to me is, you know, are my end goals, and those would be, you know, being able to get into the UFC, you know, building up my name, which I think that I've been doing pretty good at. You know, been keeping up with my social media, and that's part of the game that a lot of people don't recognize is, you know, keeping up with your social media, keeping in touch with your fans, doing interviews like this, you know, doing the extra to get your name out there so you get noticed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, definitely that. And then my ultimate goal is to open up a gym, an academy here in Gilroy. Wow. And you know, just have a sustainable life, man. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's where I get inspiration from. Is just my end goals. You know, here's where I'm starting, and here's where I want to end. And I've just been getting in touch with a mind strength coach. Right, his name is Toby Larson. He's he's really an in-depth guy about how the mind works and how I should be taking my mental approach to this game. And that's something that I think is going to pay even more dividends for this fight coming up.
Wow. I mean, I got to compliment you again, my man, like I said from before. And it's only increasing at a fast rate, it seems. You're playing this game smart, like you said, the whole social media. Unfortunately, when it comes to martial arts, of course, the purity of martial arts is what a lot of people enjoy. But the fact of the matter is it's a business.
Right.
You're individually a business. You need to have the crowd in order to get those bigger paychecks. It just is what it is. But you're doing it in a way where you're natural at it. You're being yourself. I can tell because I talked to you from what seems to be the beginning.
Right.
So you're playing it, I think, in the right way. I think one of the things you said, too, is, you know, if you're not saying it, you know, you can't be expecting for it to fall on your lap.
Right, man. I think you gotta speak your dreams into reality. And another thing is, you know, quiet money don't make money.
That's right.
You know, let's look at Demetrius Johnson, man. I think he's pound for pound one of the best, if not the best fighters, arguably. But he ain't getting the paychecks that he deserves. Right. He's knocking out guys, submitting guys. but he's just not loud about it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said earlier, if I gotta be using all 26 letters of the alphabet and both my fists, and I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta play the part. If you want to make it in this game, you gotta play the part.
Now I gotta ask you. This is kind of more of a personal question, but usually when we talk, we're talking about fights, we're talking about your career, and the reason I do this, like I've said before, is you guys have to sacrifice so much to make it to the top. You have to focus on this so much, because if you don't, that's where you're going to slip and you won't make it to the top. So your focus, how hard you train, all of that, I've given you props on that. But I'm just curious, on a personal level, you're 22, 23?
23, just turned 23.
So I just got to say, at 23, I was, of course, working hard, but I had time for girlfriends, I had time for dates, and that was important. I'm a dude. I'm just curious, like,
yeah.
Do you have a date life? Are you waiting later down the line to have a date life? Like, how the heck do you have personal life during all of this journey?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, just like you said, man, there's a lot of things that have to be sacrificed to get where you need to go. And a part of that comes with sacrificing relationships. I've had my fair share of relationships over the years that, for whatever reason, one or another, didn't end up working out completely. And, we both went our separate ways. And you always gain something from the other person. And for me, it's always been sort of a distraction to have a girlfriend, especially with the training. And, sometimes, I was doing school at the same time, working, and it's hard to communicate. You know what I'm saying? It's like a relationship takes a lot of work, believe it or not. It's not always just about like lovey-dovey feelings. I mean, that's an important part of it, but it takes work. It takes communicating with your partner, and it takes a lot, you know what I'm saying?
Time.
But
that's a big one right there.
It takes time, man. And sometimes the girls that I've been with don't necessarily appreciate the time that I invest in my real girlfriend, which is the gym. You know what I'm saying? And again, there's time taken away from a relationship when you're always training and you're always busy. For all the MMA fans out there that are listening to this, I'm sure you guys know how it is, right? Whether you're training or you live in your own life, sometimes you got to sacrifice a couple things. So I think everybody understands the position that a busy person has, if you are busy. But yeah, man, as of right now, I actually am seeing a girl.
Okay.
She and oddly enough, right? She's from the same training camp as my opponent. I repeat, the same training camp from my opponent. So it's a little funny.
Your opponent, Michael Olsen, as in the guy you're about to fight?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, it's very interesting, man. And it's not like I.
This girlfriend is from before this fight, though. I figure.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. So
it just happened to just work out that way.
It just happened, man. I didn't even know what camp she was from, or I didn't really. I knew who she was because she's a fighter, man. Her name is Brita Tank Girl Carpenter. If you guys don't know who she is, look her up. She's got a 10-second knockout. She's a bad chick.
Wow.
She'll probably beat me up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So it was after the fight for Global Knockout. She had seen me in the crowd, yada yada. Told her friend like, oh hey, go tell him this, that, and I was like, oh shoot, I've seen her before, so I was like, go tell her this and that. So after that, we linked up a little bit, and it's been cool, man. It's really interesting.
There's Suave.
Hey, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No, man. No, it's all respect, man. She's awesome. She's awesome.
That's
she's
really
great.
cool,
She's a great girl.
Because like what you just said, I mean, having a girl that isn't in your world, I'm sure it could be more difficult. So at least you found somebody who does what you're doing. So
right.
It's easier to understand what you guys are in the process of doing, how much you individually need to sacrifice. So, hey, I'm happy to hear at least there's some personal life. Whenever I talk to you, you're all business.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad you have a little space for some love, some happiness, and all of that, because everyone deserves that, even when you're on this hell of a journey of MMA, right?
Oh, yeah, man. And it's this is the first time I'm dating somebody that's in the same sport, so it's pretty cool. She knows what I go through. I know what she goes through. We can talk MMA, and it's great, man. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of commonality in our personalities too. We get along. Who knows what's gonna happen in the future? I'm just speaking right now. Everything's cool. I'm liking the way things are going, but it's definitely interesting having to date a girl that's from the same camp as your opponent.
As your next opponent. Yeah, that's definitely interesting.
As my next opponent.
Well, that adds a little twist, a little sprinkle onto this one. Well, to remind everybody, Conquer Fighting number 4. It's going to be a live stream, my man, on flowcombat.com. So check them out at the Craneway Pavilion, Richmond, California. Michael Berserker Olsen will be your opponent. I will look forward to it. I'm sure we'll touch base as we get closer. But, hey, best of luck to you. Your healthy training, happy life. And as always, I will be watching.
Yeah, man, sounds good. Just want to give one last shout out before we fade to black. Shout out to my coaches, sponsors, parents, everybody that supports me. At the end of the day, it's all love. We're all doing the same sport. MMA fight fans, make sure that you guys buy your ticket. I get a lot of people telling me and asking me, oh, when is your next fight, this and that. Well, here it is, June 24th, Conquer 4 in Richmond, California. Tickets are on sale now. You can either get them off the website or off me personally. I'm such a nice guy that I don't even mind driving to you to deliver them.
Nice.
So I expect to see everybody there. If you're from Gilroy or from the 408, get your ticket. You want to go support. You want to support your boy. You want to support local talent. Because in the end, you guys are going to see me on TV, and you guys are going to want to say, I went to that guy's fight before he got into the UFC.
Well, I plan to be there. I'm going to support my boy Suave. This is plenty of time, so I'm pretty much already know I'm going to be there. So it's going to be a good time. So for whoever's watching, let's have a good time. Let's watch some good fights. And let's watch my boy Suave move up the ranks.
That's right.
All right, my man. Well, until next time, again, thanks again for reaching out to me. If you ever got a message you need to get out there, hit me up. But until next time, brother, I'll talk to you real soon.
All right, man. Everybody, make sure that you guys like and subscribe to Rated 101.
That's my man, Suave. Peace out, my brother.
Peace out, brother.
Man, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Now, that was a little twist I wasn't really expecting. He's dating a girl that's at the gym of his opponent. I guess that's more on her side. He doesn't need to deal with any of that, but that's definitely interesting. Now, Nohelin SUAVE, he's making a lot of moves. If you're not following him on Twitter or Instagram, he's being loud. He's gotten good finishes. He's got good promotions looking at him. He's got this next fight. Definitely going to be a challenge, but if he continues on this winning ways, he's only going to get closer and closer to that UFC door. So until next time, everyone, peace.